Alexander Hamilton lived a very troubled life as a child. He was born to a mother by the name of Rachel Fawcett Lavian on the small island territory of Nevis in the Caribbean. In his early life, Hamilton showed an abundance of talent and skill unbecoming of his age. Unfortunately, before his talent could be fully realized, his mother came down with a strange and sudden fever, which left her bedridden and terribly contagious. Soon enough, Hamilton himself was sick with this mysterious illness. Within a short while, and after many failed attempts at curing her, Hamilton's mother passed away in a bed next to him. Despite this terrible tragedy, Hamilton managed to pull through both physically and mentally.
As Hamilton continued to grow up and put the tragedy of his mother's death and his own severe illness behind him, he truly found his own way. Honing his skills, Hamilton took a job at a shipping business located in St. Croix, named Beekman and Kruger. He was soon considered a prodigy, as his skills forced him up the ladder towards success. The public soon received a glimpse at Hamilton's skills as a writer, after he published an account of a hurricane which hit St. Croix in 1772. His writing proved impressive and engaging, leading a group of St. Croix merchants to subsidize his passage to Boston in order to receive a higher education.
Hamilton wasn't just the kind of kid, that came from a long line of gentry straight to the colonies. No, we're talking about a kid who had everything against him, no inheritance, no mother. From the Virgin Islands, from St. Croix. A prodigy. We're talking about someone who developed their intellect, was able to, at a young age, secure a job at Beekman and Kruger, and able to establish himself so quickly, so profoundly, that the merchants had no choice but to say, this is too much for us. We need to send you to the colonies. Your voice needs to be heard. Your writing needs to be heard. And that's what's so profound about Alexander Hamilton. Just the fact that he was able to establish himself in a world where every disadvantage was given to him. Hamilton wanted a war. When you go back, you look at it, he wanted a war. He said he wanted identity. Heroes come back from a war, they become this heroic embodiment for everyone around them. And Hamilton wanted that. He wanted to be identified. He wanted to be that hero. He wanted to be seen in the eyes of the people as someone you could look up to. Being that hero, that's what Hamilton's goal was.
Well, to understand the demeanor of Alexander Hamilton, we must first inspect his rambunctious nature. He was not one to sit still. He had beliefs and principles, and he abided by those beliefs and principles in his actions and in his writing, which he was very persuasive with. Many commented on his aggressive nature of his prose and how he would often attack his opponents in such a way that they themselves might end up agreeing with him. And one must look to Hamilton's time as George Washington's aide in war, where he would write letters discerning how many men and how much supplies they needed to make through long cold winters, terribly hot summers, things like that. And he became very disheartened in the Congress when he saw how ineffective they were and how little power was bestowed upon them. And he became convinced that a strong federal system was the only way in which to effectively govern the United States of America that was to become. In his historical book, The Quartet, Joseph J. Ellis also examines the relationship between Alexander Hamilton and his contemporary Robert Morris. Indeed, their financial systems were so similar, one could say that they were two birds of the same feather.
The final notable chapter in Alexander Hamilton's life is his death, which unfortunately occurred at the hands of his foe, Aaron Burr, during their now infamous duel. The duel itself was a dramatic end to Hamilton's life, as he and Burr had been adversaries for some time, constantly coming to a head on the political stage. But in their final fight, they moved their differences onto an actual field, upon which Burr shot Hamilton. Thus ended the life of Alexander Hamilton, but his influence lives on in the realm of American politics.